Joining me tonight is the lawmaker who co-authored that act forcing the Justice Department to release these files, Democratic Congressman Khanna of California. And thank you for being here. First off, in your view, is what the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, what she said, is that true?
No. I mean, look, Secretary Clinton is just speaking the facts. She's not making any allegations. She didn't even mention the word Donald Trump. She's a brilliant lawyer. She read the Epstein Transparency Act that Thomas Massie and I passed, and she's simply stating that they're filled with redactions, what they're releasing. They're protecting people who have actually committed crimes or who allegedly abused some of these survivors. They failed to protect some of the survivors, and they should come clean, just have a full release of these files. And even the Republicans don't believe Pam Bondi. Ask Congresswoman Nancy Mace or Congressman Massie. There's talk of doing a subsequent bill to strengthen the Epstein Transparency Act.
Do you think that could actually happen?
I hope it doesn't take that, because the law is already clear. But remember, Caitlin, we passed the Epstein Transparency Act 427-1 in the House and 100-0 in the Senate. We had veto-proof majorities. That's why President Trump signed it. And I have not met a single person who worked on this who believes that they have been transparent in the disclosures. The problem is they've already released so much that is leading to international scandals, that is leading to France to say we're going to have a prosecuting committee. The British monarchy is having to answer questions. The British government is in trouble. Here you've had resignations at Goldman Sachs' lawyers, powerful law firms. And so the American public want more information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and part of what's happening here is mainly Congress when it comes to who they're investigating. The Clintons are going to be testifying in separate closed-door depositions. That's scheduled for next week. She was asked about pictures of the former president, Bill Clinton, obviously her husband, that were released in the Epstein files. And this is what Hillary Clinton told the BBC.
Do you know the context surrounding some of those images?
Absolutely. And it wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. If Bill and I had a penny for every person we've taken pictures with, we would be extremely rich today.
Do you think that's, I guess, a sufficient answer, or do you feel like you still have more questions for the former president about what has surfaced in the Epstein files?
We have more questions for President Clinton. He needs to be fully transparent, and he needs to explain the extent of his relationship with Epstein. He needs to explain whether he knew if other rich and powerful men were visiting the Epstein Island. Did he know if other men were abusing girls? He needs to answer about how Epstein made all this money. Why is it that Epstein is frequenting with world leaders? So, of course, he's going to have to be fully transparent. And that's why I and others who are Democrats have said we want transparency. But here's what I will say about President Clinton. At least he's coming and he's going to answer these questions. I mean, what about Donald Trump? What about Lutnick? What about a lot of the other rich and powerful people who are ducking any accountability?
Can I ask about one person? Because I know the House Oversight Committee, members of it, are going to Ohio tomorrow to speak to the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. That's Les Wexner. His name had been in the files, was redacted in one piece, then unredacted last week after Thomas Massie had called it out. He had a long financial and personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He's denied wrongdoing. What information are you hoping to gain from him in this deposition?
What was his financial relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Point blank, did he ever abuse young girls? And did he know of other people who were abusing young girls? How many times did he visit the island? How did Epstein make his money? So he has a lot to answer for. But it's not just him. My view is every single person who has emails showing that they visited the island, especially after Epstein was a convicted pedophile, should be coming before the Congress and answering questions and be investigated. And the Justice Department should start a special prosecution investigatory committee into this issue. I mean, I get texts from survivors. I got one today with a name of someone in the file saying, what's happening? Send this to justice. Why aren't they doing anything? The survivors didn't just want these names out there. They wanted action. They want investigations. They want accountability. And it's happening in so many other countries.
Yeah, and major questions about what will happen here next. Congressman Khanna, thank you for joining.